Hey everybody, this is Toonstar, your gaming and music brony, bringing you some new content. I'm hoping that this segment will become a reoccurring thing, and it's called the Channel A Challenge. And what it is I got this new game called Channel A Alpha Genesis Edition, the anime pitch party game by Ewan Clooney. And basically, what it is you and you, you and two or more other people are play the role of anime creators trying to pitch their ideas to an anime producer who is looking for the next big thing. One of the players is a producer, and the other ones are the pitchers. Please don't take that out of context. So basically, the way the game works is the producer will will draw from what is known as the premise cards. He will draw 5 of those and pick 2 that he likes. He will discard the rest and place the 2 on the table. And then everybody, including the producer, will take 10 title cards, and from that hand of 10 they will pick a number of titles that they can arrange. And then they will pitch a premise based off those titles. They will pitch an anime based off the titles that matches the premise. Now, depending on how many players, the way the game works is that now I'll just go over the rules as written. So, number 1, the premise. The producer draws 5 premise cards, picks any 2 they like, and discards the rest. They then show the 2 selected cards to the other players. Most premise cards only have text, but there are 12 character cards, which each have an illustration of a character that players must work into their pitches. Most premise cards will look like this. This is actually a blank premise card, and I'll explain what these is actually a blank premise card, and I will explain that in just a sec. And then they usually have like text right here in bold explaining in one word the premise you have. And then these are the character. This is one of the character cards that you must work into the premise. This one, of course, is a Kakro character, which is very common in anime. Now, draw card. Number 2, draw cards. Each player, including the producer, starts with a hand of 10 title cards. In later rounds, you will draw back up to 10 cards. Once per game, you can discard your entire hand and draw a new one during this phase. Number 3, make titles. Each player, including the producer, assembles a set of up to 4 title cards to form the title of an original anime that fits the producer's premise cards. You can add simple articles such as a, the, of, etc., and change singular words into plural or vice versa, but otherwise you have to use what's on the cards. Making pitches. Step 4, making pitches. The players take turns revealing their titles and giving brief pitches about their series. The pitch needs to fit the premise as defined by the cards. For shorter games, set a time limit of 30 seconds or so for each pitch. For longer games, take as long as you want to make a more elaborate pitch. Step 5, vote. Everyone counts to 3 together and points to the player whose pitch they liked best. Whoever has the most votes wins the round and gets 2 points. The winner keeps the 2 premise cards from the round to represent these points. If there's a tie, each player gets 1 premise card, 1 point. If more than 2 players tie, draw extra premise cards, first from the discard pile and then the draw deck, to use as points. But all the used title cards put all the used title cards into a discard pile. Then step 6, new round. At the start of each round, everybody draws back up to a hand of 10 cards. The roll of the producer rotates to the right, who starts the new round at step 1. Play until everyone's been the producer a number of times. Now, depending on how many players you have, that depends on the number of rotations or the number of times each player gets to be the producer. If you have 3 players, there should be 4 times for each player. If you have 4 players, it will be 3. If you have 5 to 6 players, it will be 2. And if you have 7 or more, each player should at least have 1 go. End game. Count up all the cards you received as points. Whoever has the most points is the winner. Simple as that. Now there are variations to this game as well. Now I won't go into every single variation. I'll actually just be going into the one that we'll be using. And this is the social media challenge. Basically, the way the social media challenge works is I'm supposed to post a photo online of 2 premise cards and 10 title cards, and challenge my followers or fellow posters to come up with a title and pitch. I get to choose the one I like best and award that person a point and play as many additional rounds as I like with new premises and title cards. Now, this of course is going to be a video relaying this game, and like I said, I'm hoping it will be an ongoing segment that, like I said, I will call the Channel A Challenge. I've already chose the first round challenge. Our first round challenge is post-apocalyptic and restaurant. Now I realize that for you guys watching this video, these are going to show up in reverse because of how everything is. But I'll do my best. I'll explain each title and premise as we go along. So the 10 title cards I have drawn for this round are Battler, Fantasy, 1, Overdrive, Burning, King, EX, Boy, Noodle, and Note. Now, one of the things you might notice about the graphics of the title cards is that some of them are very similar to well-known anime and video game designs, such as Fantasy being Final Fantasy, and Note being a reference to Death Note. And in a way, and yes, there are certain title cards hold. And yes, there are certain title cards that if you match up, you can make names of existing anime, such as Death Note, Dragon Ball Z, etc. Although the titles aren't always going to look the same way as others, as their original counterparts. Now, so here's your challenge. Using the titles. Now onto the challenge. Using the titles that I have represented to you, you must post in the comments down below what you want to use, which ones you want, your title and premise, or your title and pitch of an anime based on the premise that we have we are using. Now, for a refresher, the premises are post-apocalyptic and restaurant. And once again, the titles you can use are Battler, Fantasy, 1, Overdrive, Burning, King, EX, Boy, Noodle, and No. So, like I said, post your titles and your pitches below, and I will vote on them. And at the start of next week's game, and at the start of next week's round, I will tell you which one I have chosen and which one I like best. Also, feel free to vote on everybody else's premises, and I'll tell you which one got the most fan votes. Well, that does it for me, and that does it for me for this round. And I'll catch you guys later. Yeah. So I'll catch you guys later. Well, that does it for me. Yeah. Well, that does it for me, and I'll catch you guys later. So be sure to keep it tuned here to Channel Toonstar.